Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet, not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up.
Introducing RS30 Ultra. The first sim racing wheel and pedals designed by a professional championship racer. Officially licensed by Microsoft, RS30 brings next-level realism to your racing sims. Sense the road, know your vehicle, and get faster lap times as you tear through the track. Dual helical gear motors give you more torque than traditional gear drive motors, with the same smoothness and quietness of a belt drive motor. Experience a stunning 6 Nm of torque, the most torque per dollar than any other wheel, and fast, accurate feedback with 0 dead zones. Feel every nuance and know exactly when you're understeering, oversteering, or losing traction. Spring-loaded pedals give you responsive throttle modulation and brake progression for absolute control and precision, just like the real thing. 2 additional paddles can be used as clutch and e-brake, or as pedal-free throttle and brakes. A rotation switch lets you easily toggle between simulation racing and arcade-style racing. Even the diameter of the wheel is calibrated to exact race car specifications. And an easy share button lets you save and share your best laps with a simple push. From the metal build to the suede wheel and steel pedals, every detail is dialed to give the entire system a high-end feel. Get better, go faster, win more, and enjoy every second of it. With RS30 Ultra, you'll race like a pro and feel like one too. RS30 Ultra by GTR Simulator. Go fast.
Looking for a new PC or an upgrade to your current one? Look no further than Ford Entertainment Group, your home for the best quality and value in new, pre-built, and custom PCs at the lowest price guaranteed. We have affordable PC solutions for any budget, with custom builds starting at $595. Even the pros turn to Ford Entertainment Group to get them up and running. With valued customers from all over the world, it's easy to see why Ford Entertainment Group is the most trusted brand in custom PCs.
I wanted to save my awesome subscribers the most money when they started their sim racing journey. Well, I searched high and low for the best deals. And I'm so proud that Jeffrey and I have partnered up so I can spread the good news about where to get the lowest price on a high quality computer.
Feel confident when buying from us with the FEG Satisfaction Guarantee. Get yourself on track today by visiting us online at fegpc.net.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker, The future is feeling.
When you need the best designs in your fleet of vehicles, there's only one brand name that many trust in. One that makes every car pop out from the rest of the field, and that is Lightning Wraps. Be sure to check us out on Facebook at Lightning Wraps to get yourself a vehicle unlike the rest. Lightning Wraps, the most affordable designs made at your leisure. Alright, race fans, time to get down to business, time to get to the action. We're now live here at Nashville Superspeedway for the Jon T. Garrett Nashville Superspeedway 100, right here on PTM Racing TV. Hi everyone, I am the Crusader Christian Schreiber along with you here tonight. Here we are getting ready for the action to go out as we prepare for this roar ahead. Time to take a look at how we're going to get here and how we're starting this one up. On the pole for the first time this season, it will be the number 5, Chantel Bottle. The outside of her will be the Rattlesnake, Robert Gahn, 21. Row number 2, that failure in the 42 is outside, Jon Garrett, the 66. Row number 3, Matthew Hopper, the 84 is outside, Dennis Warrens in that 90. Row number 4, William Mann Jr. in the 29 is outside, Dustin Sodaker in the 60. Row number 5 is going to be Spencer Teal, and the number 18 is outside, Jason Henry in the number 3. Row number 6, William Mann Sr. in the 57 is outside, Brandon Pike in the 22. Row number 7, that will pilot down to be Mr. John Gutensk in the 41 is outside, that'll be the Jeffrey Oaks in the 20. Final starters, Todd Tuss, the 72 is outside, 87, Kevin Baker. Roundabout, fight them on down. Let's get to the action here on PTM Racing TV. The Jon T. Garrett Nashville Superspeedway 100 is going to you live right here and now. We are ready to get set in motion, ready to get down to the field, down to the track. Throughout this race, we'll talk with drivers and throughout as well. We'll see how this one plays out and how this one comes through from the beginning, from the end to the B. Drivers preparing to go out of here as they line them up through the corners, through the ranks here. We're going to get the timing sheet up. Here's the Tower of Doom, as I like to call it, for the Nashville Superspeedway Jon T. Garrett 100. Or the Jon T. Garrett Nashville Superspeedway 100. That's a mouthful and a half to say there, folks. I'm going to say that right now. Thank you those that have tuned on in with us here on PTM Racing TV. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy this show and hope you enjoy the track here. We're getting ready to get down to business here. Get ready to go at it. Presented in part by Grid Finder, your restart zone coming up here as we've got 100 laps of the distance. One more race to come after this one with the infield tractor tire Super Series. But for now, it's time to see what Battle Metal Racing League Xfinity Series brings to the table right here and now live on the show. We'll rail them off of a turn number 4 this on time by and let them swing this one deep. Let them light it out. It's time to go racing here and now on PTM Racing TV. Here we go now, out of the gate. These drivers line them through the corners off turns number 1 and 2. They're going to have to watch this extremely tight cornering end of turns 1 and 2, especially 3 and 4. Competition caution coming up at lap 40 here. That will get everyone kind of recentered off, restretched in as the field works their way down. Off of the back straightaway though, the number 50, Dustin Sodaker. Sparky trying to hold his line down as he's got the 18, Spencer Teal just ahead of him with the 3 of Jason Henry moving the chains. So far, so good, everyone. Just kind of finding their own line, finding their own grip, not getting too rambunctious, not getting too crazy. But when you drive a little too far up high side like that, you just open the door up for anyone to take it away from you. Jon Garrett opens it big time there from the Fort Worth 66 to the 84, Matthew Hoffert. And the Gearhead Coffee 84 now wheeling the track down on the field. He's got the open planes. He's got an open lane to get all he wants in those corners. Nashville Superspeedway, more of a short track basis style track. This is not a very technical style track. This is a more just ground and pound, get down and dirty, be careful what you wish for kind of racetrack. The bottom lane obviously is going to be key here for these drivers in the 670 horsepower packages. But I will tell you right now, there's one thing you're going to have to really keep your eye on throughout this race and throughout this event. is really the overall consistency and control these drivers will have to bring to the table. As we got a caution flag out here, unfortunately Spencer Teal in the 18 having some problems down there. He is going to call the first caution. And trouble down there, unfortunately for him. Let's take a look and see what happened here. Second part GTR Racing Simulator tonight. We'll see what happened here as they come off the ends and gets right into a Dustin Sonaker there. Looks like he just kind of brought it down a little bit, and looks like he just kind of caught him in a bad spot, and the bad curve. 18 got taken straight to the shadow realm as much as the 50 did. Teal says his car is not working right. He says he's going to have to park this one for the night. Well, from my end there, it looked like the 50 actually drove up a little bit more than anything. We'll take one more look at it here from the camera angle point of view, but it looked to me like the 50 was the one that drove up. Ooh, that's a close one. That's tough to call there. It looks like Teal did get into the wall protection, brought it right down to 50. The judges will have to decide that one here, but right now it looks like Teal may be the culprit, so they'll let, and he has actually broken the motor. The motor has quit on him, so all sorts of problems down there for him, unfortunately, as already some drivers heading into pit road. The 5 Chantel Pato already heading into pits. Kind of an interesting strategy, if you ask me, to go in this early. She was the race leader, but maybe looking at something more than we realize. There is a even playing field, obviously, down here with these guys, and there's definitely a situation, too, that has to be kind of kept track of, but I don't know necessarily if I would have gone in so early here, but again, sometimes a longer strategy and a quicker strategy can make the best of differences here. So our field right now currently under caution flag restrictions here. We're going to go ahead and turn the pace lights off on the pace car though. Get them fired back up. We'll talk with the drivers here as we go throughout this race here, as I'm kind of a one-man show. It's going to be a little harder to kind of get guys and gals in here while we go through this race. But we do have a few on hand deck tonight. The Man Basically Man Jr., Papa Beast, Robert Kahn, Hopfert, Matthew Hopfert, Dustin Sonaker, and Chantel Pato all in with us today. So they will be able to talk with us throughout this race and constantly to get their thoughts and feelings. But a little bit early in the race here, I would say, so I'm not going to really bug them too much. As I've learned from my other folks, it's better to leave them alone here. Hey, one of our sponsors coming on board here tonight, Southern Country Co. coming on board saying, let's have some good racing today. Great to have you guys on board here today. Thank you so much for tuning in. John the Goose Gutensker in the 41. Looking pretty snazzy in that little car there. I kind of like the look of that thing. That's awesome. It's got a Girotech 41 of that thing. All right. I like you. I see you down there, my friend. I see you. It's a pretty sweet looking ride. Everybody, of course, rocking their schemes, rocking their paints here today. Trying to make it all worth the while, make it all worth their ends here. As we bring it back down to the green flag restart zone here. Filing it back up for a restart here. Get that green flag high in the air and wave it down. Here we go. Our good friend Jim Jackson will be the man calling that tonight here. We'll see how he handles each of these corners here. Watching each of these laps, positions, and transitioning through. Down the ends they go here off of corner number 2. And everyone now driving hard to catch the Rattlesnake and Matthew Hofford, as right now Thad Failer looking to try to make this one hit. Justin Entrance coming on board tonight saying, as always, come on. Love down there for the Rattlesnake here today. As they fire him back around through the first set, corners down to the 3 and 4 right now. Hofford looks like he's got a bit of an advantage run here on Rattlesnake. Robert Kahn maybe slowing down just a little bit though to Sinserve and Presane. It's one thing he's going to have to keep a close eye on throughout this race, is really watching himself and the way he hits each turn, each corner. It's very difficult down here to really stabilize the car. But once you get a good run on and you keep yourself in play and in motion, everything else just kind of falls in line and in tune with you. The Xfinity Series have been known to put up a great showcase and really a great battle here on this track plenty of times, and it looks like right now we're getting a piece of that again. Originally called the Busch Series here, this is where actually you would see some of that hard racing here back in the day, as Papa Beast William Man gets a little love tap there to the 20 of Jeffrey Oaks. Oaksy backing off though to where it wouldn't give him any trouble here, as the rubbing his racing mentality coming in full circle. And speaking of rubbing his racing here, a little Chantel throttle bottle action as the 5-star, the number 1 qualifier here. She's moving the chains up already after going into pit road. She's got Kevin Baker on the 87 on her outside, charges right past him and no troubles whatsoever. As the field works there on the front straightaway here, the one thing to keep an eye on all day long is who has the most momentum and who has the most control over their cars and over their runs tonight, especially considering how many tight corners they have to engage with. You're on board here with Dennis Warrens, as you see, just a little bit of our new camera system we're working out the kinks on. I kind of was feeling a little nostalgic, guys. I kind of thought, well, you know what? I kind of miss seeing that NASCAR Heat hood roof there. So I'm like, can we get that back? And the producer said, yeah, we can get it back for you. So that's what they did. They gave me back my hood roof cam. I love that thing. That was always the way I raced with it. So I wanted to have it back. I'm glad to see it back. Speaking of coming back here, the Man Beast, William Man Jr. having a pretty good comeback after last week's unfortunate incident, costing him quite a few positions and points there, getting wrecked out a few times and getting himself into major troublesome areas. Doesn't be having that troubles here today so far. John Kutens, the Goose, as he's known as, right now number 41, up 6 spots here. He started back in 13th. He's up to 7th at the moment. Trying to charge up Brandon Pike as well as Man Beast William Man Jr. here. Some hard charging around here and some really tight corners, and again you can just see if you give up slightest bit of that slightest opening here on this track, these drivers really have nowhere to get around. They have absolutely nowhere to get out from. On board with the man's maintenance number 29 and this chromed out beautiful piece of equipment here. Still living by his Chevy, died by the Chevy altitude here. Always get to see him really putting up something here when he gets it going. At the 42 at that failure, also trying to give himself some breathing room, trying to get right up there into the field. The Imperium 42 trying to hit the Freightliner. PTM Racing TV 21 of Rattlesnake Robert Kahn. I guess he wanted to show some love to us here in the booth tonight. I guess I'll give him that one. I will admit up front, I do like it when we see that PTM Racing TV logo up on the show, but I mean, even I'm a little bit biased for saying that. Jason Henry now trying to drive it hard off turn 1 inside line there with the Man Beast William Jr. Couldn't quite get it to stick in the way he was hoping for though. Car came to a little bit of a rest, a little bit more of an under controlled situation. Lining him off the ends, lining him through the corners, every driver for themselves here for sure. Jeffrey Oaks on number 20 trying to gain up on Jason Henry right now as Henry continues to push, beat, and sway the car around the way he likes to here. That old Chevrolet Auto Parts machine accessories, number 20 of Jeffrey Oaks, definitely going to be one guy out to keep your eye out on out through these races. He's been known to really put a hammer down on the later half here, really use his chiming and his strength on the advantage point. But here in Nashville, you better be careful about how you time it, because again, this track does not just play to timing, this track plays to those that can actually push forward here. And look at Oaks, he just crisscrossing through the field. All right, charging down a few of these guys. The Man Beast, the only man's fan, whatever you want to call him, he's now in trouble because the indictive number 20 of Jeffrey Oaks is now feeling and pacing himself around the track more than most of the Buccaneers could when the day offense was taking on the Rams. Wait, did I say that out loud? Oh, my bad. And yes, I'm a Packers fan, so for you Bucks out there, come at me. I don't care. Brandon Pike right now, the number 22, trying to get some momentum going as well here as we take it to the Butt Kicker Gearhead Coffee Sky Cam above. Right above that little roof flap here, we actually stuck our drone right on top of there just to kind of see what's going on with Pike here. And you can see just how low to the center area he has got to get to that apron to get this thing to get some speed and some momentum. The downside though is if you touch that flat area, that apron, that's going to get you a lot more in trouble than you realize. You got to time it down there, and you got to really space yourself in between to really watch those corners. Lap times right now presented by, of course, our good friends over at Grid Finder today. This is how the lap times look at the moment. Con at the solid pace here. He's continuing to keep the distance from failure. However, with only about 20 laps left before we hit the stage competition caution, that could, in result, actually change the game plan up a little bit for Con to actually have to figure out how to run a little harder down there. He's going to have to be a little bit more timing and perpetuous on how he hits each corner. Meanwhile, for the Goose Gutens, he's currently literally just sending this one away from Pike and getting farther and farther away from the track side. That big orange lines there, you see that pretty much tells you that he is gaining ground on him. When you see green on the bottom end, that means Pike's actually getting the ground, but in this case, not the moment right here. And here comes that 5% throttle paddle rounding the corners and rounding the field, taking down the boys left and right in the lightning wrap Chevrolet. It's kind of weird. I used to get seeing her driving that Ford Mustang down there for the Cup Series because she told me that some reason the Chevys did not feel very good in the Cup Series. But she said when he was driving a Ford, she said it seemed like she had that issue. So I guess she decided to make the switch back to Chevy though. She wanted to get that Chevy motor in there. I don't blame her. I mean, heck, that's what the Kyle Larson did in the number 5 winning the Cup Series division. So, I mean, what else can you say there? Throughout the field here again tonight, drivers will definitely be testing not only the proverbial limits of their tires, but also the proverbial limits of themselves. Remember, the points race could wield in some major implications, and this track, in my opinion, is probably the best at just being kind of a head scratcher and really a testament of control and counteracting each situation, counteracting themselves to try to make the best out of a driver and the best out of a situation. And that's exactly what we're getting right now as we continue to line this track through the field and through the side of things. When we come back, race fans, there's a heated battle going on between Jason Henry and William Mann Jr. But can any of these drivers knock down the rattlesnake Robert Kahn? Find out when we return. Tonight's race, ladies and gentlemen, is brought to you in part by our good friends over at GTR Racing Simulator. Welcome to the future of GTR Racing Simulator. It's not that we broke the mold, we just never used one. By DeeDub Button Boxes, quality button boxes made your way. DeeDub Button Boxes always got you covered. By the Butt Kicker Company, best in performance on feeling real tracks of the virtual world. The Butt Kicker, feel what you've been missing. And by Gearhead Coffee, whether you're renting your vehicle at home, garage, or servicing customers at your automotive repair facility or dealership, Gearhead Coffee provides a unique premium quality coffee that keeps your motor running. So right now, only one driver out of 16, unfortunately, kind of cut out from this one, that being Spencer Teal. Dustin Stoneacre still trying to somehow recoup and regain something here. Unfortunately, the 50 Titan did not quite obey by the command of the structure there. That is the law of gravity and the law of physics. Because this car is driving like it is out of this world, trying to get back into this here. Jeffrey Oaks, you saw earlier, pushing in the power and putting some pedals straight down into the metal here as he tries to gain down on the 22 of Brandon Pike. The snap on Tools Ford Mustang of Pike trying to hold back the 20 of Jeffrey Oaks. Oaksy looking to maybe make a bit of a move here, a little bit of a headway, taking him going a little bit. Trying to see if there's anything to peek inside. Still can't find the line as Pike continues to drive hard and drive quick. You can see what he's trying to do though is he's actually trying to use the bottom apron to actually gain ground and crane clearance. But unfortunately, though, if you don't time your move back up to the top, that can happen easily here in turn 1 and 2. The best way I can explain turn 1 and 2, it's literally if you're taking a hodgepodge of Kentucky and Iowa, especially the turn 3 and 4 end of Iowa Speedway, and you're trying to mix that in, whereas 3 and 4 of Nashville, to me it's a lot smoother, a lot more easy to get around. The downside though is you got that wall protection on the outside, just waiting and wait just to get you. There's just so many areas you can find yourself in trouble at, and really a lot of speed is lost in 1 and 2 if you do not hit it right, if you burn your tires up too much or anything like that. 3 and 4 you can get away with a little bit, but not so much in 1 and 2 as this battle continues on here for the battle for 5th. It's a battle for 6th, I should say, not 5th. 3 cars involved in this one, Oaks, Pike, and Pottle. As Oaks now makes the jump around, he's 8 spots ahead. He is hard charging his way up there, just like John Kutensk, who's also 8 in the field. Kevin Baker, a solid 7 at the moment right now, but not too far out. That failure in the 42 is trying to find a line around to get to the 21 of Robert Kahn. As a Freightliner PTM Racing TV machine has been pretty much locked and loaded, gunned all the way from start to finish here. Hey, let me tell you something, folks. With the way Kahn has been right now, his confidence level is out of his mind, out of the car. It is farther beyond ourselves. What right now Kahn is doing is actually doing something that I think has really been missed out on for him and his team, which is really strengthening himself and strengthening the numbers. He's become a lot better on controlled wise. He's been a lot better on his traction racing. And with 30 laps in, this is going to be interesting to see how he plays this out here with this pit strategy as Thad Failure stays on out. And I think now I'm starting to understand the little strategy that the Throttle Chantel Pottle had with the drivers here. I think her strategy was to go into pit road a little earlier on and then go for the runoff later. And I think that's exactly what she's up to. But there was a little bit of a situation popping up down here in 3 and 4. You may have saw the damage on the 5 here. Watch carefully as we come off turn 4, and a little hiccup there by Brandon Pike gets him a little bit loose, gets smack dab there by the 5 of Chantel, and unfortunately for Pike, suffers quite a bit of damage there as much as the 5 suffers on the front end. So both drivers slow down slightly here, but the good news is we have 1 instant repair at their disposal. They may use that at any time, but once they use it, it's game over from there. And if I'm these drivers right now, my thought strategy is point blank. Do not use it until you absolutely have to. For how bad the 5's damage is, I'd say just get a sledgehammer out there and just beat that thing up until it gets fixed up. I don't think it's got to be less than maybe 30 seconds of damage on that. She takes the race lead away. Kevin Baker in the 87 now going to fall into second place here. And there's one thing about Baker that definitely kind of stunned me about him. He's been getting a lot more clever on his strategies. He's been getting a little bit more tempo, a little more paced in. He doesn't seem to like run his mouth, really run through the field like it's nobody's business. He seems a little bit more relaxed, a little more off-centered. Is the best way I can explain him. He's trying to get a little bit more of a feel, I think anyway, on trying to master each drive, each corner around the tracks, and that's exactly what he needs to do to get better. He does have a new wheel he's working with. He did show me what it is. I'm not going to say on camera. You can probably guess though it's a new wheel from the big manufacturers out there. It came out not even that long ago. But he also showed me the pedals he's working, which is the same I'm using. They've got me much better, and it seems like now the puzzle pieces are starting to come together as he heads into pit road. I'm interested to see if he can actually start to really build some speed and build some momentum up later on throughout the season. As right now the Throttle Chantel Pottle, I will say, is probably going to stay out the full length here. She's got a 9-second gap on Todd Tubbs, who's second, by the way. Jon Garrett coming through the field, though. By the way, this is the Jon T. Garrett Twitch channel, Nashville Superspeedway 100. So if you guys haven't already, down the link below, we have the Twitch channel actually to go visit him. He's actually right now currently working his field and working his magic down here off turn 2 in the Fort Worth 66 Chevrolet Camaro. But we do want to extend our big thank you there from not only PTM Racing TV, but I'd say Pedal the Metal Racing League. We want to say a big thank you to them for all the support that John brought to the table. And I don't think there could be a more fitting race for this race to be sponsored by than by him and the Nashville Superspeedway. as he continues to really light up the show and race his race. The rattlesnake rubber column, Thad Failer kind of separated out by a good 5-second gap here as Matthew Hofford looks to try to take down the Failer camp. I wonder if Thad's ever been called the Flying Dutchman, kind of like a sailor here, because the way he drives, he's almost kind of got that like Flying Dutchman to me kind of thing. He's very tough to handle, but he's extremely smart on the track when he gets it dialed up and he gets racing. I get a kind of a Flying Dutchman vibe from him. You guys know what I'm talking like. It's a weird thought, but it's just the way he is and how hard he is to pass and how hard he races. He just has a kind of thing to him. I don't know. We'll see if the nickname sticks. I don't really try to get too many nicknames out there. I do know Hofford. His nickname's always been Hoffy because that's what he had back when I was racing him back on NASCAR Heat 4 and Heat 5. And Hofford, I'll tell you right now, this track actually kind of reminds me in a way of what Phoenix Raceway is, just with a little bit more banking and a little bit harder to control in the tires, because these tires do burn up quickly here. But when me and him went at it at Phoenix, I remember there was one battle in particular. It was the second race I ever got a win. It was the second win I ever got at Phoenix, but him and I in like the last 10 laps were kind of dead even with one another in terms of how we were pacing out our strategy, how we were pacing out our tires. I was about 2 seconds ahead of him, and like 5 laps to go, I would notice in the background what he was up to while I was paying close attention to my tires and how they felt, and even how they were on the pesometer there. And it seemed like he was coming up on me extremely quickly and coming up through the field faster, to where he actually caught right up to my bumper off of turn 3, past the dog leg, excuse me, then in turn 1 and 2. The next thing I know, as we're going in turn 3. Or down the back straightaway, I should say, this of ISM, that's when literally I saw him spin out and just kind of wreck himself out, unfortunately, and I don't think Offer wanted me to bring that back up, but Offie, I'm sorry, man, but I still remember that race, so alright, well, competition caution is out, race fans, and the throttle, Chantel Bottle, she qualified first. Well, she's playing on the boys tonight. Can she keep going with the strength here and keep winning this one out? Find out when we return. Tonight's race, ladies and gentlemen, is also brought to you in part by our good friends over at Ooze Motorsports. Don't think we're cheating because you think you're fast. By LPT Pallet. Got a pallet not up to tip-top shape? Call LPT Pallet. We got you covered. By Forward Entertainment Group, PC.net. Matching your want with your wallet. We'll always work with your needs to build the best PC at the right price. By Man's Maintenance. You want it done right? You call a man. By Berrytown Cleaners. Got a mess you can't clean up yourself? That's alright. Berrytown Cleaners will come help fix that right up for you. By Lightning Wraps. Most affordable designs made at your leisure. Lightning Wraps always brings out the best designs in your library. By Jon Garrett's Twitch channel. The channel for a good chat and enjoyable time around with Jon Garrett. By Southern Country Co. The trusted company to get your designs in your day-to-day life. And by Grid Finder, the best way to find a new league. Filter your search by race day, your geographical region, gaming platform, race sim, and car class. You need a broadcaster or live designer. Search Grid Finder, the home of online racing. Field going into pit row, and then we will go ahead and go an on-call situation here with our drivers. We'll see how this one plays out right at the gate here, as currently we're under our second caution of the day. Second only because of one issue earlier on with Spencer Teal, as he kind of clambered the wall there off turn 4 and 2, Skadley, and got into Dustin Soninker. Some of the drivers right now trying to stay on out and get some pit laps back. One of them just so happens to be Papa Beast in the house. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 57 William Mann in the show. William, good to have you back on board here, sir. And right now, as you guys, is your colorful suit pretty much kind of intertwined to the track. Right now, it seems like your car not quite up to tip-top shape, but it's still hanging in there with the field, isn't it?
We're just trying to make our laps here and see what we can do.
For sure there. Any big plans you got right now for the next half of this race, or what do you think here?
Yeah, just keep her steady, keep it off the wall, and keep it off of competitors.
For sure there. All right, Willie, man, appreciate your time here, sir. Best of luck as we get ready to get back down to the green.
Yes, sir. Thank you for your service.
Absolutely. Papa Beast in the house here, giving us a little info and in queue here. Some of the other guys going down into pit road right now. We'll go ahead and listen in to some of them as we continue along. But let's listen in now to the Rattlesnake, Robert Kahn, as he joins me now here in the booth. Robert, you got a copy, sir?
Yeah, I gotta go.
All right, this time we got a copy with him. So, Robert, right now, at the moment anyway, you're currently piloting that 21 into the top spot, but coming off that pit road end, it looked like the 5 kind of outsmarted you with the fuel line. Did you try to learn something off of that?
Yeah, definitely. I was wondering what happened at the beginning of the run, and then towards the end I realized what she did, so she kind of all got us on that one.
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, so Colin, there's still plenty of time to be had and still plenty of chances to go around, so best of luck down there.
Hey, thanks, man.
Absolutely indeed. The Rattlesnake, Robert Kahn, trying to get something figured out, trying to hang in there with the field. We'll take it down now and talk with the number 84 driver. This is Hoffy, Matthew Hoffert, coming on board here. And Hoffert, we saw you have a little bit of just a bounce of brilliance inside that car and have some speed to it, but it seems as though Nashville also is tearing up some of your tires down there. How did the car feel in those final corners there before the caution?
Felt like I was driving a couch, honestly. The tires were gone. This concrete surface just tears them up. There's really no easy way around it. So it felt good at the beginning, obviously, but yeah, tires were toast. Now, when you say you're learning how to drive, you're driving a couch, you should know better. We were on Wreckfest together. You should know how to drive a couch around these tracks. Oh, that couch was totally different. Fair enough there, Hoffert. Best of luck as we get you back to the restart. Thank you. Oh, man. Okay, yeah, so long story short, there used to be a little thing I used to do with some of the friends out here, some of the guys racing with right now, actually. I used to have some folks that I knew. We actually raced down on a game called Wreckfest, for those at home that don't know. It's available on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, PC, and all that fun stuff. But here's the thing. There is a little game mode in there that actually has a racing couch, like a legit couch that has a steering wheel attached to it, and it's got full-on engine underneath and just some exhaust pipes on the sides. It's the darndest thing I've ever seen in a racing game, but considering Wreckfest is really just a fun, all-out kind of game, it's really just you just need to see it to believe it, folks. That's all I can tell you. But it is so much fun. It is wild, to say the least. So here we go, though, race fans. We're getting back to this one here. Let's get back to the green flag as the drivers await the green. High in the sky, Jon Garrett. The 666 will have starting command off the charge. Green flag high in the air. A little problem down there for Dustin Sonicker, though. As the 50 goes down low. Looks like he's trying to get out of the way of drivers where he might have had a false start on the tires end. Either way, that car did not come to life here, did not go, and he's got more problems down there. The 50 Titan Toyota Supra spun it right on turn 1 there. All sorts of problems down there for him, unfortunately, and just cannot seem to keep out of trouble. Jon Garrett, though, will take the race lead over. He continues to lead the field down on. As he continues on, though, you can see there's a little bit of company swinging in his doorstep here. Watch out for the Imperium number 42. Trying to show his experience and trying to show his craft and his work here. He's firing hard right at Jon Garrett at the moment. Garrett trying to hold down the line, trying to hold the momentum. He knows he has got company coming his way. The Rattlesnake, Robert Kahn, right now in a bit of a heated scruffle with Dennis Warren right now in the 90. Warren still searching for his first win ever here on PTM Racing TV. Has had all sorts of problems and all sorts of struggles down there time and time again. But today it seems as though he's not having that same situation, seemingly kind of in a freight train kind of movement as he deals with the Freightliner of Kahn. Slide bobble there by Kahn there. We'll see if that lifts him up into the wall protection. No, not there anyway. He manages to hold it down. You saw him get into that apron spot, and that's a bad end you don't want to get caught up into. Held his line down, though, pretty well. Kind of kept himself at bay and in control. As you see the rest of the field just trying to hunt down the lone lady of our sport right now, trying to hang in there. You see there's a little bit of movement there as the Man Beast, William Mann Jr. looks to try to take Jason Henry to town here. trying to school the Blackstone 3 with the 29s. Man, Maintenance Wounded Warrior Project up ahead. Great back and forth action here from these drivers, as every single one of them giving it their heart, giving it their soul, trying to figure out who can outwit and outsmart the other. Jason Henry right now falling further in the pack though, as Jeffrey Oaks still on the lead lap here, 7th position right at the moment. Got a lot of guys down right now on the laps counter here. 10th on back is a lap down at the least. And I think a lot of that, unfortunately, has to do with the fact that really this track, even though it's a mile and a third in length, it's so easy to get put a lap down on because those tires burn so quick, and then you all of a sudden have to worry about the fuel run, you have to worry about the fuel brigade. There's just so many things you just got to keep your close eye on, you got to keep watching out for, that it just makes for some incredibly hard battles and good racing, but at the same time, it does kind of treat it more lending into a short track style basis, which it's really weird to say about a mile and a third, considering, you know, back then they called Darlington Raceway the Superspeedway of all things. And that's exactly what this length is actually of Nashville Superspeedway. It's the same as Darlington. The only difference is it's not shaped like an egg, and also it's not literally so tight to control a master that it can get you kind of rocking on your boat every now and then. Although I will say the too tough to tame part may not be far-fetched here. Walking him off to a 3-wide slew. No, Dustin Sonaker staying up topside, staying out of the way of Hoffer, and them drivers having to maneuver around him. He's backing up quite a bit here, trying to let everybody by him. He knows he is not on to his speed. He's not in a good position right now. Sonaker having all sorts of problems, to say the least here, and I guarantee you he is not happy with the way his performance has been as of late here on PTM Racing TV. And on board here with the 72, Jeffrey Todd Tufts trying to put the Canadians back in stride, back in the fight here. As you can see, he's not had the best of seasons either when it comes to how he's been on the track and getting positions wise. But I can say right now, it's probably been the best season for him overall, for his control of the car and its control of the momentum. He's been getting a lot better and really timing and distancing himself out throughout these events and throughout these races. I expect over time here you'll see him actually start to get a little bit more clearance and a little bit more of an idea on how each car works and how each car runs the track side. I think it's just a matter of time before we really see something popping up from him. Battle for the race lead still as Thad Failure, Jon Garrett, and the Rattlesnake Robert Kahn all engaged. Garrett leads it, Failure second, Kahn third, and Hoffert. Yeah, let me get a little deja vu from last night, obviously, because last night we saw at Wii Sports Speedway with the Ooze Motorsports open house that there was a little bit of a situation popping on the back straightaway where guys were battling in really hard and getting things a little bit too close together, to where one driver literally just came on the outside and stole that one away from the leaders. I'm getting kind of that same vibe here at Nashville Superspeedway. The only thing is, which is it that may be in trouble? Is it Kahn? Is it Hoffert? Is it even Warrens or Pottle that could catch him? Baylor, Garrett, and them are going to have to watch themselves, because they know this can go dead south in a heartbeat, and the last thing you want anything to go is dead south around here. Kathleen Cropper coming on board here tonight. She's saying hashtag Rattlesnake Robert tonight. She's got her eye on the old boy, the Rattlesnake himself. Now, let's take a look at our pit stop timing here today. This is how our pit stops right now look at the moment. As I'm going to have to get the... Wait a minute, hold on. What? Alright, how did that... Alright, there we go. I was wondering what the heck was going on there. So looking at the laps right now and how long they can go out on the track, looks like there's a 35 lap distance on fuel line for these drivers. About 36, 38 if you really stretch it out. Taylor went a full 37 before he had to go into pit road. Bottle did not do a full stint on that, so she could have more actually to give here, so we do not know for sure. But it looks like about 40 laps is the distance they can go. They're going to have to go into pit road here. The question is, when do you go to pit road? Do you try to go a little early and save your tires up so that way the other guy that goes behind you burns them up quicker? Or do you try to go in really later and risk the run of having to burn these things in quicker and faster? Again, this track is not a track, folks. You can just pretty much go rocking it in and just drive as hard as you want off. I've tried it, and believe me, I can only get about 5 or 10 laps before I've driven it too hard. Next, I'm into a wall protection because I can't get the thing to steer. These tires just take a huge beating on this concrete surface as Failure took a pass around Garrett. And now Con gonna literally sneak his way around the inside here, down 3 and 4. And the Rattlesnake strikes again in Nashville. I didn't even know they had some rattlesnakes down here in Nashville. I know they got snakes down here as much as they do crocodiles, but I didn't realize they had a rattlesnake popping around here. Well, apparently the Robert Kahn has slithered another one his way and gone himself into the top spot. Meanwhile, behind him, the 84 Matthew Hofford and Thad Failure look like they might go at it a little bit here. Kind of pacing themselves around off turns number 3 and 4. They are still in a heated session with one another, trying to give them all they got. Nobody is safe around here. No one is allowed to just get by that way at all. Side by side, your battle for second place, Garrett and Failure, just even mono. Drivers just wanting to hit it down and charge for all she's got. None of them gonna give out of this one here, as right now even the man beast kind of putting himself in the picture here. He may be a lap down, but he's still fighting for all he's got. The difference though is he's not trying to do a little too much on the corners, not trying to side by side any of the guys. One thing that's respectful about the man beast is that even though he may be a lap down, he will not try to run you too hard around the track. He will try to run you clean as can be, and he'll try to find a way around you, but if he cannot find a clear-cut way without having to go side by side too long, then he won't even try. Kevin Baker, as I talked about earlier, my friends, he's been pretty much kind of locked and loaded on his timing and his control of the tracks. He's been getting a lot better throughout these events, throughout these races, and so far he's proven my mindset here. Muscling on down still here for the Jon T. Garrett Nashville Superspeedway 100. These guys still at odds even with what themselves. Imperium's number 42 at that Failure trying to hang in there. The Rattlesnake Robert Kahn at the moment trying to stretch out the run and stretch out his momentum. I guarantee you one thing is for sure right now, he paid close attention to when Chantel went into pit road and when she did her fuel mileage. She knows that Kahn's a little bit faster, but she's a little smarter when it comes to long-term runs. Kahn's extremely tight when it comes to speed and overall endurance. There's just one downside for him though. He is not one of the best at long-term running these things. He's been proven to be beaten out before plenty of times. It could go either way here if he is not careful. You can hear how smooth, how gentle. You've got to just get around those turns as we go on board with the throttle Chantel model. You have to be very gentle entry and exit. You have to be easy in. You got to be harder off, but pretty much once you get hard off on the exits, you got to kind of really pace yourself, really find the momentum there later on. That's exactly what these drivers are up to and what they're into right now. Kevin Baker now going to have a little something to say at the man beast, William Mann Jr. This is your battle for ninth. The man beast and the Wounded Warrior 29 trying to fight off here with the 87 of Kevin Baker. Baker looking to try to steal him one in. Baker hard onto the back straightaway they go. Here it's a battle between two drivers, mono once again. Which one will get the better of the two as Baker puts the bumper to Man Beast. And the Only Man's fans are not too pleased. I think he did not like that at all. I think he's trying to live by the code. And yes, he's not. You're not reading that wrong. He is from Kannapolis, North Carolina. You could probably guess who's from there.
Kevin Baker at the moment still putting the Supra right back at the Chevrolet Camaro here, as you see the 72 of Todd Tuff's trying to figure out what he's going to be up to here. He's going to go into pit road, but that was not the way you're supposed to go in. You're supposed to go in at a three lap pace here. We'll take a look at this one again, see if he actually got it around here, but it did not look like it here. There is a rule of thumb tonight with Nashville. He's going to have to serve a 30-second penalty for not hitting in the proper turn here. Right there, there's the opening you're supposed to go in if you're going to go into pit road. He misses it. I think he was trying to time it, but I think he misplaced it. Ends up getting himself into a bit of a troublesome situation there. So that's going to cost him a little bit here. "30-second penalty done to Todd Tufts here. Unfortunately, tough break there for him, as he is currently having to now work his way back to the field. Well, as we continue to ride them on the track side, Baker's still out of here with the man beast right now. Dennis Warren's actually moving the chains up ahead of Matthew Hoffer in the 84. Hoffer looks like he might be slowing down the distance just a little bit, trying to conserve himself. All these drivers conserving as much as they can here at that failure con, both entering in properly. They will not be penalized here as Todd was a minute ago. And that could be a bit of trouble here for Con. Oh, wait a minute. That's major trouble. He actually spun the tires going into pit road here. And that failure makes him pay for it. Oh, my. Well, that's a bit of a stretch right there. Con usually does not make mistakes like that one. That was a big mistake, no matter what you call it or how you see it. He went into pit road right, but that was a huge mistake to drive it in like that. And now he's lost so much time at that. He's going to have to try to make it up here. You just can't make mistakes like that if it goes green flag like this, because right now you got three heavy hitters that are trying to outwit and outsmart the field. Chantel trying to make it past Hofford, maybe looking to extend the gas out. Look out, Hofford going up top side, and now this old rivalry renews once again. Hofford too far up though. The throttle, Chantel battle taking it away from him. Dennis Warren's now trying to get the draft away from Chantel. He knows he's gonna have to be focused here. You can't make mistakes like that. You can't be getting too crazy, too wheezy here. This is a huge get-go. These drivers in a hot pursuit for glory, victory, and then some. But again, how far can you go and how far will you go before eventually things just do not hit your way and things get a little too rambunctious and out of control? That is the kind of the season situations you have to worry about, that you have to keep your eye on. And that is certainly something I think these drivers are very, very well aware of at this point. Warrens heads into pit road. He does the proper pit stop here. He will go in and clear everything out. And the throttle, Chantel Otto taking the race lead away. Matthew Hofford far back as well. And it looks like the throttle heads into pit road, so does Hofford, so it looks like Con's strategy might work out okay for him here. The man beast parks it down into pit road. He'll get himself cleaned up and cleared out. Every single one of these drivers getting a good clear-cut pit stop entry here. Field still pacing their way around. Warren's out of pit road, as right now looks like it could be a dead heat moment.
Chantel's still in pit road, so is Hofford here. Which one of these drivers can get out quick enough? Because Kahn and Thaler are going to move the chains ahead. But did they take enough fuel, and do they have enough time to really last out as long as they have here? That's going to be a major griping question. 25 laps remain. The pit strategy and the fuel strategy have come into perspective. Here comes the 5 and the 84 as Warrens will just barely clip both of them off on the back straightaway. Jeffrey Oaks trying to get back down close enough to stop the 5's momentum. Oh, just cuts it a little too close though. Couldn't get it. And the 5 takes over. The 5 moves the chains in. She now's got the 5th place spot back and hopes he cannot catch up with that one. Now that's tire set on her end. But that Thaler and Robert Kahn battling it out here. This may be a shootout here, and they know they can't buy too much time. They've got only an 8-second lead on a set of drivers that can catch them quicker than they know it. This is a long run shootout, my friends. This could go quick. This could get a little nuts here. Cynthia Simon X saying, whoop, whoop. Let's go, number 22, Brandon Pike. Well, Pike right now currently not doing too shabby. Unfortunately did fall a lap down, though, due to some circumstances there and the snap-on tools, as he does still have some damage on that rear end that he never got fixed up here. Kevin Baker and him going at a little bit now. Looks like it's a little bit of a tussle as Pike gets a little bit loose off turn 4. Stabilizes it down, though, keeps himself out of trouble here and moves the chains in. Battle for the race lead, though. Thaler, Kahn, both drivers going in. The Rattlesnake versus the Flying Dutchman. Which one gets the better of the two? The Dutchman looking to try to take a Rattlesnake down off his ship and get him out of here. But unfortunately for him, Kahn has just been so tough to beat all day long. And his speed is certainly one to keep an eye out for. Once again, the speed, boost, momentum, control of Kahn just overrides anything Thaler tries to throw at him. Field also making their way down across the trackside here. Dennis Warren still trying to hang on to that 90, but the 5 is closing in quickly. Jon Garrett not too far up ahead here. Only about a 3-second gap separates out these three drivers. Warren's, Bottle, and Garrett. Top 3 could be closer than we realize here in just a minute. Warren's right now trying to hang down the line, trying to hang on the momentum. You can see that tire is just scratching and clawing into the concrete surface, though, of Nashville Superspeedway. This surface may be old, worn, and torn, but I'll tell you right now, it's a surface you better be careful about. One wrong move, one wrong end, and it's like trying to find your way in a needle in a haystack. I think Kahn and Thaler right now have enough fuel to get through this race and to finish this one out, but again, is it enough to hold back from the tire length and the distance here? 7 seconds may seem like a lot, but we've seen the 5 really push and hold her line down all day long, and Oaksy was doing quite a bit of that too with Hofford and Warrens even, but unfortunately, the way they entered into pit road, the way they came off of the exits and into the run, they were not able to hold back that speed and hold back that run, especially considering only one caution throughout this entire event. Warrens is doing everything he can to hold back the 5. The 5 now looking for the inside scoop and swoop, looking for the run. Time to scoop the bottom down, grip the tires to grip. There's the scoop. Here comes the swoop on the back straightaway. No, Warren says, not today, ma'am. He's not having it. He says, I'm not letting anybody buy me this. Well, that may be one thing, but here's another battle going on. Battle of old rivals, old friends here, Oaksy and Hofford. Now, how many times have I called a race here in PTM TV or with Pedal Mill Racing League that did not involve these two at some point getting into it in a season? I swear, man, every time I go, I'm literally about ready to turn on my Hollywood Undead song and play it everywhere I go. Because I always know that Oaksy and Hofford are gonna ride the show right here now. For those at home that actually know what Hollywood Undead's Everywhere I Go song is, that was probably the worst kind of remix I've ever done, so I apologize in advance to them. Anyway, 16 laps left to go.
Can Thad Failer find some momentum, find some run to catch Con? Time is elapsing, time is expiring. Remember as well, folks, coming up in just about 40 minutes, we're going to see the infield tractor tire super series down at Lernerville Speedway. It's a battle of proportions as our drivers will fight it out on the old dirt surface, and they have no walls to save them there. You want to run good, you better be careful. We'll find out all that and then some here coming up. Jon Garrett, really completely forgot all about him right now. He's still 2.5 seconds ahead of the field. He's right down the back straightaway here on the 3rd place spot. He's really trying to keep the Fort Worth machine in play and in control. The Fort Worth screen printing 66 has been driving hard all day long, but does he have enough to kind of finish this out here? That remains to be seen. Getting 2 different kind of camera angles here as you see that lightning rasp machine just completely hammered down on the 90. You can see the 90, he's losing it a little bit in the corner. You can see the rear end sliding out. Whereas the 5, dead straight, dead on target. But the problem is again, this is the thing about Nashville. It's so difficult to pass here because, again, it's that old short track mentality racing. Do you put fenders and bumpers together, or do you try to find a way around them cleanly here? If it was me, I'd go with whatever works. That man Beast Wayman Jr. looking for one last ditch effort to make a run off on Kevin Baker. Baker in the 87 trying to hold down the field, trying to hold down the fort. He's got Brandon Pike though closing in there on the number 22. Here comes Pike on the outside. Firing away here in the Snap-on Tools 22. Even though he's got rear end damage, he's still striking it hard. Papa Beast and the young Beast, the man Beast himself, right now in a 11th or 12th, 13th place start right now and finish, excuse me. Both drivers having all sorts of problems though here at Nashville Superspeedway to hang in there. Really, we've got 3 major battles going on right now. I wish I could throw the triple screen up. I don't even have any way to do that. Well, I don't think I have to do it too much longer though. Here comes the 5. She finally finds a way around Warrens, gets an opening in turn 3 and 4. Warrens opened the door, and the scoop and swoop finally engaged, crosses him over and takes it over. Meanwhile, behind him still here, a big ditch effort battle pack here. Jeffrey Oaks and Matthew Hoffer still at each other's game plan here. Oaksy and Hoffer know they need to get something going here. They got to get some build up and speed running down through these fields and through these tracks here if they want to have any chance to be in the top 5 brackets at the end of the season. They know what's at stake and what's on the line here. The Gearhead Coffee, number 84, looking for the scoop and swoop on the 20 of Oaksy as we're down to the final 10 laps remaining here in Nashville. And in all honesty and with all due respect, I will say what a show that has been. You've had multiple storylines, developing storylines built up, and drivers giving it their heart, giving it their soul. That to me is racing. That's what it's all about. That's what I love to see, and that's what I always want to see. Here now, closing in on the gaps. We've got 9 laps to go, but watch out because Garrett is in trouble. You can see that sea of green. The 5 is on a patrol and on a mission. She's got a little bit of a fresher set of tires down there. That's why she's got so much grip, but also Dennis Warren's kind of helping her out a little bit. Doesn't hurt to help a little bit here on this track, and especially when you got some speed to build up. Warren's is not out of it yet, but does he have enough left to even catch him? That failure, the Flying Dutchman being put back a little bit further here as the Rattlesnake Robert Kahn continues to hold the line down with Garrett now losing it off turn 4. The turn 4 ending yet again on the Fort Worth screen printing of the 66. Garrett farther back in the field. He's got nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. He cannot hang on. And the 90 of Dennis Warrens now charging right up ahead as well, moving into the 4th place spot. The 5 takes over for 3rd. But you can just see the distance and gap here from the Rattlesnake Robert Kahn. He's got such a lead right now. Does he have enough to hold this one down? Taking a look at the fuel line here right at this moment. 22 laps on it. That's enough. He's got plenty of fuel as long as he took it. As long as he didn't shorten it down in pit road, he'll have enough to finish this race out. Remember, you can take so much, so when you're coming into pit road and really a full tank of gas is probably what I'd be doing right now, unless in specific pressurized situations. Sometimes that can be the better of the man. It could be the better of the hit. Justin S. Interest saying, come on, Con, keep hitting your marks. It's not a matter to keep hitting his marks. It's also watching his fuel line. That failure, look out. He's got problems here in the 42. That turn 2, that literally just cost him almost a full second to the throttle Chantel bottle. That's how much those tires are cooked. That's how much the tires are ran in. Khan's still hanging in there, though. He's still getting the ground and getting a gap here about 7 seconds ahead of the field. 5 laps remaining. The flagman holding up a high 5 in the air. That means 5 to go, and this right now is anybody's guess who can take this one home. I don't know how much fuel there is right now in either of these drivers' tanks. All I can tell you is there's not enough to just literally go another distance that they had to do a green-white checkered. They better be careful. They better be close on themselves here. Orange trying to catch up on the field, trying to get some momentum built up around the track here. 4 now left to go. That's trying desperately, and I mean everything he can, to just hang in there. He does not want to fall back in another spot. He knows he could be in trouble. Robert Kahn, the last time we saw him in a fuel run situation was back at Kentucky Speedway. He went fighting it out with Jeffrey Oaks in a heated clash. That night, Kahn would cost himself any hopes of a championship run as Jeffrey Oaks would take the win there. Kahn would spin it off turn 4, lost too much momentum, and actually lost fuel line cells and everything. Will the same not happen here? Honestly, if I had to guess, I think he's finally figured this one out here as William and Papa Beast is in the grassy plains trying to straighten her out. Gets that on that back straightaway, gets it recentered off, back on course. We're 2 laps to go. Green flag high in the air. Robert Kahn has pretty much all but sealed this one as long as he can just finish this race. The Freightliner, PTM Racing TV, Toyota Supra. Dead on consistency, dead on the mark, and dead on the nose. White flag high in the air. JJ throwing that white flag up here for us here. Why the white comes out here. Kahn just needs a few more good turns. That failure put up a great, impressive fight from start to finish. And don't count out Chantel Bottle's last minute run she had. She strategized and did fuel run before everybody else. But in this case, she may have played her cards a little too early because today, here in Nashville, the music is tuned and the band is kicking. Robert Kahn is going to win in Nashville. Second will go to Thad Failer. Third will go to the Throttle Chantel Bottle. Fourth goes to Dennis Warrens in a close corner finish. And fifth going to Jon Garrett in the 66. What a race. Great stuff. There he is, race fans. There's your winner. He's got the Jon T. Garrett Nashville Superspeedway 100 to his name and his resume. He took home the GTR Racing Simulator Talladega Superspeedway race literally just a couple of weeks ago. Now he can add another one to his mantle. The Rattlesnake is your winner. Smoking some tires, smoking up some trackside. He knows the championship could very well be his if he can just keep continuing this momentum. That took a lot of strategy and took a lot of smarts to even get to this point, but for him, in this case anyway, he was able to do so, and more so, often than not, able to strategize above all else. Presented now, the Grid Finder, PTM Racing TV, stats here, the race results are in. The Rattlesnake strategizes above all else and hangs on to win this. That failure comes second, third to Chantel Throttle Bottle, fourth to Dennis Warrens, fifth to Jon Garrett, sixth to Matthew Hoffert, seventh to Jeffrey Oaks, eighth to John Gutensk, ninth go to Jason Henry. Kevin Baker comes away 10th, rounding out the top 10. And race fans, when we come back, we will see for the top 3 and how they felt about this one. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
When you need the best designs in your fleet of vehicles, there's only one brand name that many trust in. One that makes every car pop out from the rest of the field, and that is Lightning Wraps. Be sure to check us out on Facebook at Lightning Wraps. Get yourself a vehicle unlike the rest. Lightning Wraps, the most affordable designs made at your leisure.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Welcome back, race fans, here as we get ready to talk with the top 3 drivers here today. Let's start up with the throttle, Chantel Pottle. She joins me now here down in pit road as she comes off of that clutch performance here. Chantel, congratulations on really what could be a just overall impressive race. You were the fastest qualifier, and you pretty much came out here and put on a fight from start to finish here. I mean, talk about this one and how it felt down here today.
Yeah, it was a good race. I just wish when I was saving gas there for that stage break, I saved enough. I ended up having to pit twice, so I didn't have to go a lap down. I think that's what pulled me off. If I had to just pit once and get tires at the same time, I think I would have been up in front more and probably fighting for the lead with Khan and the 41.
For sure there. I know this was definitely a bit of a long-term strategy, long-term race. I mean, how bad did the tires really hold up on your end? Because it seemed like a lot of drivers out here were struggling to keep those things in check without having to burn up too much here.
They hold up pretty well. It got tight a little bit there, but nothing that you can't handle.
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, though, a big victory and a top 3 here for you and your team is going to definitely help out in the points race. So I'll ask you this here. Who do you want to thank here today for this one?
Everyone here at PTM Racing League and all of our sponsors. I don't have the list with me because I didn't expect to get top 5, to be honest. So
That's all right. We will flash them off at the end of the race, so don't worry about that. But nevertheless, Chantel, congratulations on top 3. We'll talk to you here in the near future here.
Thanks.
The 5, Chantel Pottle, coming away 3rd here tonight. Now, race fans, coming away 2nd place here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Thad Thaler in here. And Thaler, first off, I'm just gonna say this. I kind of gave you a nickname. I nicknamed you the Flying Dutchman. So if that's not a name you exactly like, you can feel free to come at me for this one. But I just thought, honestly, the way you raced it kind of was of a Dutchman, if you will, that just completely came out here and tore down this track, tore down the house. But in this case, Colin just kind of outsmarting you a little bit more on the pit strategy side of things. It definitely seemed like a long run here for you and your crew, didn't it?
Yeah, I would have to say that it was a balance between speed, long run, being able to keep the tires under you. I thought there for a minute I was going to have it. Con had problems on that last pit stop, beat him out, but just didn't have anything. And then I got into the wall there towards the end, and car was building tight and just didn't have anything at the end there when it mattered.
For sure there, and nevertheless, though, you still had a lot going on down the track. Obviously, you really are holding your line, holding yourself steady. If there's anything you could have done a little differently, though, would you have tried to do anything differently, or you think everything you did was just right what you needed to do?
Hindsight 2020 all the time, but I really don't think they're much, I could have backed off, let him have it a little sooner, and then, hoped he burned off his stuff. But in the end there, I think I pretty much had a good balance there in speed and tire strategy. So I think for the most part, I don't know much of anything else I could have done.
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, though, it was a pleasure to call this one to see you got out here and put up a fight here, Mr. Dutchman. So as you come away today with a 2nd place finish, who do you want to thank for that?
Well, first off, race sponsor, Jon Garrett. Huge shout out to him. Got lots going on for him, I guess. So huge shout out there. Shout out to all the sponsors for the league. I don't have them by any means memorized, so sorry about that. But GTR, Butt Kicker, huge shout out to all those that I am forgetting right at this moment. Teammates that I have that we practice with, and that's always good. And then finally to the wife, giving me the time and the ability to run in the sport.
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, though, as I told the Throttle Chantel bottle a minute ago, don't worry, I've got that lineup ready to go at the end. So we'll let you sign off with that here. But Thad, congratulations, sir, on a second place finish. We certainly hope to see you back here, my friend.
Thank you very much. You have a good evening.
You too. Ladies and gentlemen, your second place finisher here tonight, Thad Failure, the Flying Dutchman, as we're going to nickname him here, comes away second. But in the win here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, the 21, the Rattlesnake Robert Kahn steals the Jon Garrett Nashville Superspeedway 100 here on the show. Robert, congratulations on that one. And like we talked about earlier, man, you just seemed like you just dialed this thing up and gave her all she got.
Yeah, for sure. This is a track that really favors my style. Really easy in and pretty hard off. But that was a tough race. It was fun, very fun.
It certainly was indeed. I know you had a lot of craziness in between, really trying to go big and go broke here when you can. And it seemed like the car really was just dialed in from start to finish. I mean, how did it feel after that first set? Then all of a sudden kind of got everything dialed up to get ready for the last bit.
Well, I was nervous at going into that last run because Thad was a lot faster in the long run than I was. But I kind of tried to conserve a little bit more in that last run, and it kind of paid off. I was able to stretch out. Going into pit road was a little bit tough. I lost it there. Somehow was able to save it, but I thought I lost it then. But overall, just an awesome race.
Certainly was indeed. And as you walk away with the W and the victory here in Nashville Superspeedway, my friend, let me ask you this: who do you got to thank for that?
Well, Gearhead Coffee, because I had a big cup of it before I got to the race, so that helped me with some energy. And then I ran PTM on the hood tonight, so I appreciate PTM Racing TV, GTR Simulators, everybody who's involved to make this happen. We got a great crew, great group of people, and thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Well, nevertheless, Jon, appreciate you coming on board here today. Congratulations on a well-deserved win. We certainly hope to see you back out here, sir.
All right, sounds good, man. Have a nice night.
You too. Ladies and gentlemen, the Rattlesnake Robert Kahn walks away with the W and the victory here for the Jon Garrett Nashville Superspeedway 100. A big thank you to our friends, our family, our sponsors, GTR Racing Simulator, DeeDub, Button Boxes, the Butt Kicker Company, Gearhead Coffee, Ooze Motorsports, LPT Pallet, Ford Entertainment Group, PC.net, Man's Maintenance, Barry Town Cleaners, Lightning Wraps, Jon Garrett Twitch channel, Southern Country Co., and Grid Finder for everything you guys have brought to the table and helped out for this season. Without you guys and the fans, the friends and families out there, we wouldn't be here without you. Ladies and gentlemen, that is our coverage today. We will have one more race coming your way. Do not miss it. Lernerville Speedway, we're coming to you. It's time for the Infield Track Tire Super Series here in about 20 minutes or so. But from all of us at PTM Racing TV, if you're signing off for now, thank you for tuning in. Hit that like and follow button here on Facebook. Subscribe to YouTube on PTM Racing TV. I'll catch you guys next week. We're going to head it on down for some more action-packed racing. We'll see you guys soon or in just a few minutes.